Welcome everyone. I've been having some discussions with my colleague from the Netherlands who has just come back from visiting the Adab. As you know, there is a problem there with the refugees and the hunger situation.
I was here today to visit the refugee camp Dadaab in the north, where I got mixed impressions. On the one hand, the situation is tense, it's difficult. There are every day again people are coming in from the north who are suffering. On the other hand, I have to say that the organizations in place there do a good job. They manage the whole influx of refugees very well. The discussion I had with the minister this afternoon actually was not on this issue. Of course, it's a very important, urgent issue, but we discussed issues that have to do with investment in agriculture, with food security, with structural changes in the whole business of agriculture, which is something where my government, the Dutch government, very much would like to put more emphasis on, and where the Kenyan government is ready to get into cooperation to see if we can improve the situation on food security in the long run. If you look to, let's take as an example, the year 2050, we will have about 9 billion people on the planet. We will need about 70% more food than we produce now. We will only have about 10% more space to produce the food. This means that the productivity, the technology that comes with productivity has to be raised all over the world in order to meet these demands. That can be done, and it can be a good living for professional farmers, but it's something to address, and this is an issue we talked about.
Oh, we have discussed a lot of things, a lot of them which will remain between government and government, but what we are trying to get, and what every Kenyan should want to have, is to see that we produce enough food for the people who live in this country. It's of course not a secret to anyone that parts of Kenya are arid or semi-arid. We want to make sure that all those areas can be made useful. Therefore, it comes up that we must talk about water and irrigation for agriculture. That's one of the areas. For us in this ministry, we are always trying to emphasize the need to have more resources into fertilizer, into seeds, to make sure that we have good quality seeds, overcome some of the problems that we have inherited, and also ensure, if we can, that we are able to mechanize agriculture to some extent to avoid having low productivity. The list is endless. To begin with, for those who have a food crisis in terms of the prices on their own, several weeks ago, the Minister of Finance did clear for maize to be brought in by millers without duty, so that should stabilize the prices. Also, we expect that the food from the Southern Rift especially, and parts of the Western Kenya, this food should be getting harvested quite soon. And by the way, there's still always the other food that people are not talking about, potatoes. There are a lot of those. In the case of the people who are struck by drought, this, as you know, is done under the Ministry of Special Programs, and just last Thursday it was announced that Cabinet had agreed to increase the funding for them to be able to provide food for these people who are facing starvation. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I thank you for coming. Thank you very much. Thank you.